Pantheon: Rise of the Fallen. Is it worth it? I've put over 300 hours into this game since it released on Steam Early Access, and this is the most popular question I get by far in my stream. And I think this answer is going to be different for everybody, and I just wanted to give you my thoughts. I dove into this game with almost no expectations. I had heard about this game in conversation in the past, but I never followed it too closely. But I did know that this game was an old school inspired MMO, along the lines of EverQuest, which was one of my favorite games growing up. And actually, Pantheon was started by one of the original lead designers of EverQuest. His name was Brad McQuaid, and unfortunately, he passed away in 2019, but the project has continued on. I think everyone should be made aware that this game has been in development for a really long time. Pantheon was first announced on January 13th, 2014 alongside a Kickstarter campaign, and this game is still not close to being completed. But hear me out. I think they have something special here in what they have completed so far, and I totally did not expect to sink as much time as I have into this game, and I'm still continuing to enjoy myself even after the 300-hour mark. The first thing I like to tell people is that this game is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. If you've never played an old school MMO from the 90s or early 2000s, and you've only played the more modern MMOs on the market like Retail World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, Elder Scrolls Online, then you'll probably feel like this game is a giant step back in time, and you'll quickly find out that it's missing a lot of the amenities and modern systems you see in newer MMOs. Just to give you some examples of what I mean by this game really just throws you in and doesn't really hold your hand. For one, this game doesn't have an in-game map, so you kind of just have to learn the world by going out and exploring on your own. And the world is actually pretty dangerous. This game is pretty tough solo. It's doable, but most of the content is much easier with a partner or a group. This game is also a very grindy game. Max level is currently level 40, and it takes a lot of hours to reach that. And whether you're solo or in a group, the primary way of leveling is mob grinding. You're not going to find these quest hubs where you pick up a bunch of quests, go out, and then turn them in for XP. This game is very central to mob grinding. Dying is also very punishing in this game. When you die, you do lose XP, and it is possible to de-level. When you die, you also lose all of the items in your inventory, and you lose all of your coin, and you need to retrieve your body in order to get that stuff back. However, you do retain the gear you have equipped on your character when you die, so at least you have gear to fight with in order to get your body back. However, if you have played older MMOs in the past, and especially if you really enjoyed them, I think it's easy to say you will really enjoy Pantheon. I don't want to spend too much time going over every little detail about this game, but I do want to show you guys a quick look. Here we are on the character creation screen, and as you can see, we have a handful of races to choose from. We have human, elf, halfling, we have ogre, dwarf, and darkmere. If you look on the right-hand side of the screen, each race comes with their own unique set of stat attributes, and these attributes are pretty significant within the game and to the class you choose. And each character gets 2 points to allocate starting out. There's also an auto distribute button if you want the game to decide where to put these points for you. From what I've gathered so far, I think the plan is to have each race have their own starting city, but right now there's only 2 starting areas. If you create an elf or a halfling, you're going to start in Wild's End. You start out in the treetops up here in this pretty vibrant forest zone, and it's honestly pretty cool. If you start as any other race, you start here in Thronefast, and this area tends to be more popular because more races just happen to start here. Going back to the character creation screen, there are currently 12 classes to choose from, and if you've played EverQuest before, a lot of these classes sound familiar. There are warriors, monks, clerics, rogues, wizards, enchanters, shamans, rangers, paladins, dire lords, summoners, and necromancers, and there are 2 additional classes that have yet to be released. There are druids, which I believe are being released within the next few weeks, and bards, which are still in development. One thing I really like about the class design in these older style MMOs is that each class feels pretty unique within their role, and there is little overlap between the classes, which is a design philosophy I hope they keep moving forward. Are there trade skills in this game? Yes, each character is granted 2 trade skill tokens, which you can use to choose up to 2 trade skills. However, these choices are permanent. And I'd say that professions are pretty useful and lucrative in this game. You can create a lot of good gear and useful items, and you can spend plenty of time out in the world mining and chopping down trees and gathering all the materials required to craft things. I also wanted to add that there is no in-game auction house in Pantheon. Players typically congregate in towns and cities to make trades, and trades are done face-to-face. And they also use sort of like a trade chat channel to advertise what they got for sale or what they want to buy. And what about the current in-game population? I think the population right now is doing well, and it seems to be holding steady. I have personally seen this game grow over the weeks I've been playing. And during primetime hours, I usually see between 5,000 and 6,000 active users on Steam, with that number sometimes exceeding that. You can easily spend a few hundred hours with this game in the state it's in right now, like I have. I think the first 20 or so levels are the best part of the game right now, as they have a lot of the early game fleshed out nicely. The 20 to 30 range was pretty fun for me too, but you really start noticing around this time where this game is unfinished and incomplete. One example is that a lot of the classes in this game aren't fully finished, and some still need more work than others. So for me, by level 25 on my Dire Lord, I had already gained every spell and ability for my class by that point, and from 25 onward, there was nothing new for my class to look forward to, which is a little disappointing. By level 30 and onward, leveling becomes much more of a grind, and you'll really start noticing a lot of the game that is still unfinished. There isn't a whole lot of high-level content right now. The Pantheon development team is pretty small, but they seem to be very transparent within their community, and they're very active on their Discord. I've been happy with the development process and the content updates we've seen so far. They seem to come out with a patch once a week, and I've definitely seen some significant changes over this time. It's nice having a patch to look forward to week after week. So if any of this has sounded interesting to you so far, I think now is a perfect time to jump into the game. I'm really enjoying how it's all new, and we're all discovering this game together. I've been having a lot of fun trying out the different classes and figuring out the complexities and nuances in this game underneath the hood. This game really came out of nowhere for me to start off my 2025, and I'm really glad I've got so much enjoyment out of it so far. Like I said, this game's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I definitely feel like there are those like myself who would really enjoy giving this game a try right now. Actually, if you want, you can check out some of my other Pantheon videos where I sort of recap my adventures and capture some of the magic that this game has to offer. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.